how does one prevent losing their mind due to age or other material defilement? Very good. That is actually a very good question. And let me just say, first of all, indeed, as I always have to say, I am a doctor, but I have a PhD. I'm not an MD, so I cannot give medical advice in any way, shape, or form. But let me just give you a few thoughts on this, actually. Indeed, as one gets older, it is indeed the case that many people, and today specifically, again, we won't go very deeply into it, but we know that today, especially with all the contaminants and pollutions and other things that we cannot mention that are occurring in our world, yes, increasingly people go through loss of memory, dementia, Alzheimer's, etc., as they get older. They become mentally debilitated. They, in a way, start to lose their faculties, and it's a horrible thing to see. You know, it's a truly terrible thing to see when you encounter people who reach a certain age and indeed they start to kind of lose their mind. One thing that I would say is the best way to prevent this from happening is to make sure that you live as healthy a lifestyle as possible before you become elderly. See, this is the problem with youth. This is the general problem with youth, is that, yes, it is for most people, not everyone, but for most people, it is only when you reach a certain age, whatever that is, 50, 60, 70, that you then begin to seriously do things to maintain your health, that you seriously begin to do preventative actions. And at that point, they're not preventative anymore. Of course, that's the problem, is that at that point, whatever you do will be helpful. But, you know, really, we need to do preventative health measures when we're young. But unfortunately, this also corresponds with a time when, when you're 20, 25, 30, you feel great, your mind is sharp, and you're thinking, I'm on top of the world, I feel great, and I will feel great for the rest of my life. And most people, of course, when they're young, won't do what is necessary. What does that mean? Take care of themselves. It means, as I go on and on talking about, you rid yourself of addictions. You do not smoke. You do not drink alcohol. You do not do drugs of any sort, including ayahuasca, including marijuana, including any of these things that New Age folk thinks gives them enlightenment, but actually gives them stupidity and fantasy. You avoid all these things. You make sure that you're physically fit, you know, because interestingly, when you're physically fit, this also helps the mind as well, because it helps blood circulation, it helps prana as well, it helps with breathing. So you make sure that you go to the gym, you make sure you lift weights, you also do yoga. At the very least, try to do Surya Namaskara, sun salutations. If you do a search on the Dharma Nation channel, you'll see that we have a video in which Surya Namaskara is explained in depth. Watch that video, start doing it. This means that you do meditation. When you do meditation, you go deeply within and you have a firm understanding and grasp of that inner realm of mind, of intelligence, of the psyche, etc., in such a way that being now in touch with this and understanding it and experiencing it from the inside out, not just theoretically, you have the ability to keep your mind sharp, even when you're older, etc., etc. Now, all this being said, as far as young people, indeed, what does one do when you're already 60, 65, 70, 80, anything like this? You can't really say that you're doing prevention, rather you're doing healing at this point. You still can improve your mind by doing all the above of what I just said. By doing all the above. I'm not going to repeat it all. But everything that I just said, start to do this at whatever age you are, and you'll see that little by little, the mind will come back, the memory will come back, etc. So again, not medical advice because I'm not an MD, but common sense advice and yogic advice.